I'm talking to Apolo Ohno, who, as you know, holds the record for the most medals won by a U.S. Winter Olympian. He has joined our show today, coast to coast. He, along with Rod Howe, who was one of the world's greatest entrepreneurs at the age of 19 and has since gone on to incredible things, co-founders of Allysian. Guys, when I sit here with you and we talk, we have a little chat, it's like we're talking to the beginning of Apple in the tech industry. I mean, looking at your management team, the people you've surrounded yourself with, the buzz that's already started and you're just launching now. Apolo Ohno, tell me a little bit about Allysian, where the idea came from and what's driving this.
Sure. I guess Jesse, I'll give you a little bit of my background and experience. Obviously, I spent 15 years in the Olympic space dedicated solely towards sport performance, mental performance, trying to achieve optimal results in basically less than 40 seconds long. Post-career, I retired in 2010. I've always been involved with business. Rod has been a very close friend of mine. We were searching. We wanted to be in the nutraceutical space, but we didn't want to approach it until we had something that we really felt was compelling, was innovative, was a game changer, and also was something that we could truly back with every single part of our being that we wanted to have. So Allysian Sciences essentially is dedicated towards optimizing human performance through science and education in a nutshell. We like to use the term redefine possible and look at every single limitation that's ever been set forth before you as an individual, whether you are someone who's interested in sport performance, whether you are a CEO or an executive of some massively large hedge fund, or you are a weekend warrior, or you're simply a mom who's just trying to take care of her family and kids. Our goal and belief system in people is first backed by the science and education that we have as a company. Validated clinical trials, testing products, the best ingredients from a nutritional perspective, in addition to setting aside the best coaching and performance team possible to adhere to the psychological needs of someone who wants to better themselves and reach or surpass their potential. You know, I always use the term of when you go work out alone in a gym, right? Sometimes even now, I'm a retired athlete, I go work out alone in the gym. You know, I get a great workout. But when I have a trainer or I have a specialist or I have someone who I've worked with for years or even someone who's alongside me, that simple physiological presence of having someone there who understands the basic the mechanics and the movements enhances my workout by at least 30%. Okay. And that's just simply having someone there. So our goal as a company is simply, we provide the tools, which is our products. We provide the education, which is our coaches, and all encompassing, we believe in people and potential. And we want to basically share our ideas and we want to start a movement.
The efficacy of your products, and you're not passive about anything you do in your life. You know, the difference between a gold and silver medal is what, the breadth of a hair?
Yeah, thousandth of a second.
Thousandth of a second. So basically, I mean, Dr. Udani was on the show recently, and literally as we speak, he'll be walking into scripts and presenting Allysian. You can't be a company and walk into the street. You have to be approved to go to and present at scripts. You have to go through a process to get there. Yeah. And he is, you know, I mean, Medicus is the gold standard for research and development in health products in the world. But you traveled the world as a chemist. I mean, you've been known to buy 1,600 bottles of something just to get a few caps out of it.
That's right.
I mean, you're not passive about this in any way, shape, or form.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, when you look at the supplement industry or the vitamin industry, people take pills, they take tablets, they take supplements every single day of their lives. For me, being an Olympic athlete and Rod being no different, we were always scrutinizing every single product that we were looking into. So when I was formulating this with our team, Rod gave me his concerns about the products that he saw in the market and said, look, there's some great products out there, but they didn't meet our standards of approval. And so we want to take it a step further. We said, if you have a magic wand, and this was speaking to our group of scientists and formulators, and along with our own input, we said, look, if you had a magic wand and you could create the world's best brain supplement to enhance cognitive functioning, memory retention, mental processing, and in a sense, upgrade your mental processor, right? If you had that magic wand, what would those ingredients be? What would they look like, and where would we source them from? No cost involved, right? Forget about the budget. Let's just create something from scratch, from ground up. Let's not white label a product. Let's not go towards an existing product and just, you know, take off the label and just put our own from a marketing perspective. Let's create something from the ground up, from a need, instead of saying, look, let's just go out there and just pump a product out there to try to make money. Let's create something that we feel like we can stand behind. We can give to our family and friends. Rod has kids. He said, look, I don't want to put a product out there unless I can give it to my kids, and I feel confident that this product will basically perform for them. So, look, every single person in this company is completely committed and dedicated towards the excellence of not only the product, but also the experience that the people have in joining this entire program.
Co-founder Rod Howe. I met you when you were, 19 years old. You were arguably the world's top trainer in this industry. You had built one of the largest businesses on the planet. You were 19, and here you are some years later, still a very young and good-looking man, I might add.
Thank you.
And you've co-founded this company with Apolo. What's turning your crank? What's winding your stem? Where do you think this is going?
Well, first of all, it's amazing to meet somebody like Apolo that has achieved so much success in his athletic career, and to have that type of intensity and type of standards that he set for himself to be arguably the best athlete in the world. To take that and transcend that into business today, the same type of commitment he has in sports, he's been able to apply that to every area of his life. So we've been doing business for a number of years now. And I remember that conversation we had in Las Vegas. And we felt that we want to create something that would be a platform or a stage for us to really share what we were passionate about. And it wasn't just about making money. So we've done that in different industries. We've been involved in different sectors and traveled around the world and doing global deals together. But something that we could really get behind and share a message. And, mentorship was a big part of my life growing up. I attribute a lot of the success that I have today to the mentors that I had and the training I had when I was a very young entrepreneur. And to be able to apply that and now come back to this space, Paul and I said, let's do something different. Let's give back. Let's create a program and leverage all the latest technologies and look for something that would really make a difference in everyone's life. And really, it didn't matter who it was. It would be everywhere. It would apply to athletes. It would apply to business people. It would apply to students. It would apply to, mothers at home. And that's how we created this program. We started with the most important thing. We didn't want to get into vanity-related products. We didn't want to get into a space where it was just about exterior. We didn't want to get into a transformation program about weight loss. And there's so many of those. But when we looked at all those things, Apolo said to me, he says, Rod, everything starts with a decision. And I agreed with that. And we said, if everything starts with a decision, it all starts with our mind. And if we can protect our mind and feed our brain with the proper nutrition, supplements that have never been made in the market before, and take the time to really research that out. It took us several years. We traveled around the world together, had a blast doing it. But it took us time. And when we came up with the brain space, and we thought that was the most overlooked and underdeveloped sector of the nutraceutical space, and to take that and marry it with our program, with our educational program that we're very proud of, our Mind Hack 28-day transformation program, which I think is the other critical element of our program and to be successful for our people. We're creating that culture of helping people develop themselves and help them become better at whatever they choose to be at. Because it's not really about what just our dreams are. It's really about helping other people fulfill their dreams. And that's what we're more excited about than anything.
I've been following you guys on Twitter, and you guys have been killing it. You've been working till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. This, I think, is the most impressive part, getting to know you, Apolo, and Rod, knowing your background. You guys are all in on this deal. It's not a little bit. This is 100% of your activity, of your mind power right now. And while you guys are young and greatest athletes on the planet, you've hired, I hope they're not in the room, the gray hairs to cross the T's and dot the I's. I mean, you brought in one of the most sophisticated management teams I've ever seen. Dick Simmons, Ray Grimm, Mike Pine was in here. Man, I'm a fan of Mike Pine. That guy is one of the hottest, business development marketing guys on the planet. UFC, CNN. I mean, the people that you have surrounded yourself with while you guys are out there 24/7, this is insane.
Yeah, I think we're blessed and we're lucky to be able to have great relationships all over the world. When this idea around helping millions of lives enhance, improve, protect their brains through a product, through a system that we wanted to design, we brought out our Rolodex and we called friends, we called professionals, we reached out to individuals who we knew had access to some of the best in the industry. I'm not a scientist. Rod is not a scientist. Not one of us are perfect on the team, but collectively, I believe that we all have specific attributes that together, when synergistically combined, we provide something that really is innovative, creative, and breathtaking. And this is a work in progress. This is a startup company. We are working very, very late all the time. We have some extremely hard workers in the team, but this is what it takes, and this is what we're passionate about. Any new company, Jesse, and you've seen so many, is not easy, and there's many different paths to take, and there's many different obstacles. But I think when we look back on this in 5 years, and we talked about this before, it's my hope and dream that when we look out and we stand in front of an audience, or we're looking out at some retreat that we're having as a company retreat, or we're doing some different kind of conference, we don't feel like we're speaking to the people. Instead, we feel like everyone is there with us because we've accomplished that. We've changed lives around the world. And I think as a company and as individuals, we all believe in that same cause and belief. We wanted to create something that was sustainable and something that was different, right? You see companies come and go. We see IPOs. We see everything, especially with this crazy tech boom. But having something that in 10 years from now, I'll be able to share with my kids and say, you know what, I created this out of a specific need and a want to give back at the same time as providing super high quality ingredients, supplements, whatever the product was. It wanted something, and it was actually created out of a need for something that I was simply looking for myself to juggle my different businesses. I didn't feel like I had the cognitive ability to simply process the information. I wasn't born with a 200 IQ, right? But if I had the right tools necessary to give me the best possible chance for success and the right tools and training, I've done the mental training on my own as an Olympic athlete. I know what it takes from a physiological perspective. But many people out there who maybe, look, they have the same high performance mechanism that I do, that many different people do, like that Rod does. When I see this guy get in front of a room sometimes and he presents these business deals, I'm in awe simply by his mechanics of how fluid he is, how he engages with that individual. Everybody has their own unique talents, but sometimes in life that switch, that high performance mechanism that I like to call, has not been switched on. And so, it's my goal, it's my belief that everyone has that within them. They just need help, coaching, direction, guidance, whatever you want to call it, to turn that on. And we want to provide people the best possible tools and essentially the best chance that they can to reach their potential and surpass it.
It's very consistent with what you said on a recent radio interview we did. It's a few years down the road. You're on the beach. You're looking back at the initial successes of the company, and you said there are millions of people with you. That was the first statement you made. That's very important for you to take millions of people around the world with you, isn't it?
Absolutely. Look, everything we do, whether, I competed in a sport that was looked at as complete individual. When I stepped on the ice, it was just me. But I had a massive team around me. My father, my friends, my coaches, my mentors. Without them, I would have never stepped foot on that ice. And so when I crossed that line, although the American public and the world was viewing that as a win for me, I felt like I was winning with everybody. We won. We did something great. And that feeling of collectiveness, that feeling of family, unity, is something very different and unique. And the reason why we decided to do this company in the way that we're doing it, it's very different than I believe a lot of other companies. And that was very important to me, and Rod shared the same vision. I mean, Rod has been pitched by many different types of network marketing companies, supplement companies. I mean, he's a guru in this space, right? He's been labeled by many as being one of the best ever. So I asked him, what would it take for you, Rod, to get back in the space? And he said, look, I would only do this again if I was able to control in some capacity the way that we can conduct the culture of our company. He wanted to shake it up. He wanted to do things different. Not saying anybody's doing anything wrong, simply we wanted to do things the way that we always wanted them to be perceived and felt and heard.
Apolo Ohno, Rod Howe, your co-founders of Allysian, and right now is Ground Floor Opportunity. Thanks for tuning in.